Okay, we're rejoining our chat here. Let's start that bit again when you got that job at the Northern, and I was asking about it was an insurance company, an English-owned insurance company. What kind of work you did as a 20-year-old?
Well, first of all, let me go back and say the thrill of getting this job. To think that I was going to be paid better than the guys who had joined the bank, and I was going to be paid better, and I was going to be living away from home. This was my first break away from home, and the excitement of that was hard to comprehend. But slowly but surely, I hated it. But what could I do? I couldn't just give up the job, and where would I go then? So I stuck with it. And next thing, I kept moving within the organisation. I kept moving around. I assumed that this was going to help me to get settled down by moving to one department, but it didn't. And ultimately then I resigned, and I went to work in an insurance company in Galway. But the big attraction there was the car. I had a car, but it wasn't long before I realised that this car was false horizon. Not even though the car was great, I would have been as well off in Dublin on the bus as I was in Galway, covered in County Mayo, in a car. I hated it.
I'm still trying to grasp what you did for the insurance company.
Well,
monotonous, obviously.
I worked first of all in records. I used to have to keep the records of the entire of the company. So, and then to be able to resurrect the policy numbers of these people when other colleagues were looking for policy numbers. So I was in the records department, filing, searching, and but wasn't Friday and Saturday great, and Sunday. Yeah.
You paid every week or every fortnight or every?
It was the first time I was actually paid into my salary. It was paid into my account, and I had a checkbook. And I wrote a cheque one time for 2 and 6pence. I thought I'd turned that on.
You go to voicemail.
Yeah. But I had a check. I had a cheque, and
you felt like an adult with a checkbook.
Oh yeah, sure. And the first thing I did was I went over to a shop, and I purchased a suit, shirts, shoes. So I was the best dressed person you could imagine. Overcoats, hankies, ties, everything. And then a bicycle. So I was paying on the Never for a bicycle and my clothes. And I used to be able to by paying so much a month, I was able to then, when it suited me, go in and get another suit. Still paying the same amount.
There's no credit cards then. This was a credit facility, but most certainly wasn't. But I was always considered the best dressed person because I did this. Right. I wasn't waiting until I saved up. I just go in and buy the suit and buy the jacket and buy a pullover, and naturally then I was buying sports things like rugby boots and knicks and jerseys and. Because at that time I was playing rugby and hurling, believe it or not. I'd play rugby on a Saturday with black knicks, blue, black and white socks. And the following morning I would be wearing green and red, white knicks, but the same boots. So I used to have to clean the boots. Where is this now?
In Dublin. This was in Dublin.
And who you playing the rugby with and who you playing the hurling with?
I was playing rugby with a team called Wanderers, and I was playing hurling with a team called Columkills.
So did you cycle to Dublin 4 to train with Wanderers, or where do they train?
I did, yeah. They claimed actually at Aviva, the present stadium.
Lansdowne Road?
Lansdowne Road, exactly.
And hurling, where did you train there, and which club was that?
That was at Columkills. To be honest with you, I don't remember training too much, other than turning up on a Saturday morning and togging out in the middle of the Phoenix Park. There was no dressing. There was a dressing room, but there was no showers or facilities like that. So you put your trousers on and mucky soil and mucky knees and hands and things like that, and just washed yourself when you went home.
So you're in your 20s now, and you are staying in digs. Is that where?
Yes.
Explain to me what digs are.
Digs was a family, as it happened in this case, a family of husband, wife, and one child. And there was other guys staying in the digs, and some of them came and went. Others stayed a long time.
But it's someone's private house, isn't it?
Private house.
You get a bedroom and a breakfast.
Lunch and dinner.
So you get 3 meals a day.
I used to cycle home from 7 Westmoreland Street in Dublin to the North Circular Road. You were allowed an hour and a quarter, and by the time that I cycled home and cycled back and had me lunch, I had time to do that.
Right.
And during my stay there, I used to encounter the cattle market.
In Smithfield or?
It was the North Circular Road,
right,
really,
sure.
you know.
Yeah.
And I remember slipping, falling off in the cow dung. But instead of returning to fix myself up, I continued my journey into the office. The reason for this was to show them that I wasn't late.
Right.
And that was a discipline I've always had, and I've had it to this very day. I was in time. Of course, immediately I was sent home.
Because you're smelling of dog or cow.
I was, of course. And the landlady put the suit into the oven.
To harden it up?
Yes, and then brushed it clean, and then ironed it. So the suit was ready for action the following day. Same suit. I'd only had the one suit at that stage, apparently. But that day, I went for a walk, or a cycle, I can't remember, to the Phoenix Park. And wasn't that the day that the female guards, female police, were passed out, as they say. In other words, they graduated.
For the first time?
Yeah, so I was at it, with my head in between the bars of but there was no one else outside looking in. Everybody inside were guests. So I used to meet the girls afterwards, and I used to say to them, I was at your graduation. They all assumed then I was a relation of one of the guards. Got to know quite a lot of them at that stage. They were a novelty. Vanguard, they were known as, which mean the female guards. And
did you have a girlfriend at all at the time? This is your early 20s.
I used to have several, yes.
When you say girlfriends, are these the girls that you would go to the cinema with, or to a dance with, or would you step out regularly, as they say?
I found myself getting very discontent. Easily, by virtue of me going out, having a permanent girl. And so that was a novelty that wore off very quickly. Yes?
Sorry, gentlemen.
Yes?
Oh,
you off.
Okay, we're back. Now, Dan, I was asking you about, you said you tired or bored easily with various different women. Is that what you're...
That's right, yeah.
In the sense that they would just get on your nerves, or that you had a specific type that you were interested in?
No, I wouldn't be that practical.
Right. And Ireland was a very Catholic country, so there'd be no good at bringing girlfriends back or anything like that.
Oh, God, not at all. It never entered into our head. I mean, for me to be able to cycle a girl home in the bar or the bike...
It was a big deal.
That was a big deal. And I remember cycling a girl home in the bar on the bike one day. And when I was returning, having dropped her, and when I was returning, I said, I'm never going to do this again. I learned my lesson. I was never going to take a girl home, and I never did after that.
Why don't I understand that?
The hardship of it.
Oh, I see.
You know, you're cycling in the wind and the rain, maybe, and maybe it was raining, I don't remember.
And would she feel now, Josephine is my boyfriend now because he gave me a bar or something like that?
No, they don't think to be that foolish.
Right,
No,
okay.
no,
Right.
I don't think they would ever be that foolish. I went to one particular month in my life in Dublin. I went to something like 9 debutantes balls. Girls inviting me from the convent schools.
And how would they know you?
How would they know me? I don't know, because I wasn't in school. I was in my early 20s. I looked younger than I really was. But I must have met them at dances. I must have met them maybe in Croke Park. I must have met them, but I just can't remember.
Would their parents, for example, recommend, oh, you should ask Joseph?
Or
he's a nice
maybe
boy.
it was their sister that worked with